Oh baby, it is just one of those winter mornings where it is beautiful out and it looks like prime conditions to be making $1 billion, man. You can see we got $338,000 in our pockets. We have a nice little farmstead here and I'm looking to grow this boy out. I love what we have cooking so far, and I'd like to use this money that we got from last episode's big selling season to afford some new land, some new fields, get some more crops in the rotation, and just increase our yields by so much, man. In addition to that, I do love our little sheep operation over here, and that's something that I'm going to be putting some of this money towards. My main two goals for today and this upcoming year in general, where it's year 8. We did just finish off year 7. It should be turning over in March, but my goal for this year is to get the expansion going out. The main things I want to be buying this year in our wonderful year 8 of the Billionaire Challenge is more land and more sheep. I want to go a bit more hard into the production of clothes, so I think getting some more sheep is a great step in that process, and maybe even starting cotton farming. First things first though, I think I am going to do some fun plowing type stuff today. So not only am I going to be buying some land, I think it's time we did some of that, plowing fields together, getting it all purty and some nice big workable fields. This is the field I was talking about right here, field 17, not too expensive at $135,000. We do have a little bit of a discount on some of these fields because we've been doing contracts for these farmers. They like what I've done, so they're giving me a bit of a discount. We've made this area right here, kind of a little sheep production zone. I think making this kind of strip of grass right here into more, animal area makes a whole lot of sense. We can have it kind of centralized to this area. I could get some bigger barns, but I do like the size of these ones, at least for right now. They hold up to 65 sheep, so I think I could fit even, like 3 or 4 more of those just on this little strip right here. And that seems like something we're gonna want to do. I do have a decent amount of hay in our storage container over there where the bale's on top of it, by the way. Still awesome. We have about 30 bales chilling, so I can feed a few more sheep just with that. On top of that, I think I might get some sort of a baler this year and just start making more food for them sheep. But enough gabbing, I think it's time to get buying. So biggest one first is, I think I don't need to think about this too much. I just want to get this one bought. It's 135,000. Bam, done. We have 202,000 left in the bank. The other one I was thinking about here is plot 24. This one is $383,000, so that is not too terrible. Now I could get this guy to extend it out, but I do like using this road for a little bit of transport between the fields. That might be something I'll change eventually and get this field, but for now it is just not a priority. The one thing I'm thinking if I buy 32 here is just to make this into one gigantic mega field, and I think that would be pretty fun to do, so it's something I might get into today. So we are totally debt free right now, but that's something I'm going to change. I want to take out a bit more money just to get these fields bought, get things produced, get things planted, get the gravy train rolling. So took out a bit of money. I'm not going to think about this too much. It's field 24 time. Bam, bought. So we have just spent a whole lot of money. I think maybe I'll cut it off at those purchases, at least for now, and worry more about getting some more sheep. I think that's where the next piece of my money is going to go. Now, the one thing I want to do right now is Courseplay actually has this handy dandy little feature here where you can draw custom fields. One thing I'm quite bad at is plowing together fields. I always feel like I end up with a little bit of extra mush at the end, around the sides. So what you can do is you can actually just, draw things out like you'd want them. So I want to plow these fields together. So I'm just gonna go around the corners, right click, and draw it all out, kind of trying to keep to the lines as best I can, and we'll do one of those. So we have a little field here. I might need to do a little bit in auto drive because I do have some waypoints in here, but we'll figure that out. It'll be fine. So that's our first custom field. Now the other one, and this will be a bit more of a task here with all these curves and everything. The other thing I guess I could consider is just to put these two together and keep 32 as its own beast since it's already so big, and it honestly might be easier because these curves make it pretty annoying to do. So I think I might just do that. I think I'm going to combined 30 and 31. All right, that's looking pretty good to me. I did extend it out just a little bit up here, but I think that'll be good. And one thing you can actually do is if you want to see this custom field, you can see the waypoints itself. It's pretty cool. I think it's all looking pretty good, at least for this one. I can go check out the other one as well. I guess it could go a little bit further this way, but considering we're going to be putting sheep here, that seems okay to me. And just to kind of show what I'm talking about here, yeah, there's plenty of room behind it. I mean, ideally you'd like more room, but you can see it's not that big of an issue on the other side either. Yeah, we'll just be putting these in, probably ripping out some of these trees as well. That might be something I just do really quick, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get a plow leased out and get some of these fields plowed up. So I think I'm gonna go with this guy and just lease it out pretty much for the day. It is 22 meters. It might be a bit big, but considering I'm also going to rip up all of our fields, I think that's going to be a pretty good idea. So we will just get this leased out. It's going to only be $3,600, not too bad at all. It is February, so our planting season kind of begins in March. That's kind of why I wanted to do this today, just get things squared away. I am spending pretty much all of our money, but we're going to return a whole lot more than that. On top of that, in terms of loans, I think my credit maxes out with loans at like over $1 million now. So taking out a couple $100,000 really isn't that big of a deal. I like using all the money that I have available. I don't like it just sitting in the bank account, even though it does look nice to look up there and see 300,000 instead of 31,000 and being in debt. So one thing I'm actually going to do while we have this out, like I mentioned, is I'm going to plow all of our fields today. Since I have that plow rented out today, I think it makes a lot of sense to just go ahead and get all of them ripped up. While we do have a planter that direct drills and doesn't necessarily need to have everything cultivated beforehand, I do have periodic plowing enabled in the settings. This ground needs to just be plowed. I've actually never plowed any of my fields the entire time I've had them, and I feel like some of them are very due. Even though it might not say it right this second, they are definitely going to be requiring it soon. So I'd rather just get it out of the way while we have the plow, get our new fields all set up. So speaking of our new fields here, I think what I'm going to do is get this guy working. I did set that all up. Let's see how he handles all that. I'm gonna go ahead and get him started over there. So this will be my first time plowing a few fields together. It's kind of exciting morphing, you know, parts of Elm Creek to how I want them to be. Oh boy, I am just taking out everything on the street. That was multiple signs, running into a light post, all sorts of stuff. One thing I am really bad at when it comes to plowing is making sure all of the lines are, you know, just so. I think he should be okay, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, I mean, you can see the lines already aren't straight. Very unfortunate, but then again, probably better than I would ever do. So, oh boy, that is... I might want to just have him stop already because that is horrendous. So while he's plowing here, I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of some of these trees and we're going to get some more sheep placed. All right, clean things up just a little bit in terms of the trees. I'm going to go ahead and maybe get rid of some of these bushes and I'll think about where I want some of these to be placed. I suppose I could maybe even extend that field out a little further if I wanted, although I'm not going to have that much room as is, so maybe it's not my best idea. Something like that is probably going to be good. So I am going to borrow some more money. We already have $200,000 in loans. Placing down 2 more of these barns is probably going to cost me like $300,000 total, counting in, you know, placing the actual building down and then buying the sheep. So I will get that taken care of. Going to borrow some more money. All right, 1 place down. I think I'm going to go ahead and just do another one here. So 2 more placed down there. Maybe I'll just get rid of some of these bushes and stuff just to clean things up. Sweet, got things cleaned up just a little bit there. This dude is still plowing, as you can see, and missing things very roughly. Oh boy, yeah, we'll clean it up, but I mean, the field is looking pretty good. It just has a few things that I'm not very happy about, namely this. I am not loving this at all. That looks pretty rough now. I blame that guy. Okay, I did my best to remedy the situation. That's not too bad. Close enough. The color definitely changes. Makes me more so want to plow into this field, I guess. because it doesn't look quite right there. It's too squeaky clean. Does look like he did finish his task at hand. I am gonna need to go ahead and fix down here. I like nice straight lines when it comes to my fields, so we're gonna be doing some stuff with the paint tool today, if you couldn't tell. So looking a bit better here, and I think it's time to get some sheep in here as well. I like going right up to around 60 of adults, and then they kind of fill things out from there, so it's roughly about like 15, you know, or so of each. I like getting a nice mix, get a good variety, you know what I mean? So got a solid 60 there, and we'll go next door and get the same thing in the other one, and then we got to get them some food as well. All right, got another 60 in there, so 120 new sheep today, 2 new barns. Just looking really great over here. I love this area of the map and what we've done with it. It's not too bad of a job, all things considered. It's gonna take a little bit of cleanup around the edges, no matter how you slice it. I do like this plow quite a lot. It's nice and big. Doesn't have the issues of the other one where it kind of like goes off to the side. Yeah, let's get these fields all plowed up. You can see we have a big, like, mega field here now, which is great. It's not some tiny little thing anymore. And this will be getting planted first thing tomorrow. Pretty excited about that. I think this is going to be the start of a new trend for me. As much as I like the little fields, how they look and everything, it just is a lot easier dealing with some nice big fields. This one isn't like ridiculously huge or anything, but putting together those 2 fields is a lot better for me. So getting all of these would cost me right around like $200,000. Could be something that's worth. I mean, this is a really oddly shaped field over there. I don't know. I'm considering it. I mean, those ones are really easy to plow together up there, so definitely those. It would make a very strange shape for a field. I'll see what I can do. Yeah, I drew them together just to see what it would look like, and man, this is the weirdest shaped field I think I've ever seen. Tempted to make it happen though. It could be kind of fun to get all this put together. Yeah, it's a strange field, but I mean, it'll be kind of fun. We have the money to throw around, and yeah, I want to do it. Let's get a weird field right here. Just blob them all together. It is going to end up with me a whole lot more in debt, but oh well. Look at that. All of that is ours now. And now we have a big weird field. We got this one all taken care of. I think I will get this one covered as well. Gonna be a little bit more to clean up, I'm sure, but we'll just let the AI handle this one as well. I'm a little nervous about what I'm gonna do. This does kill some of my auto drive waypoints, as you can see right here, but I am gonna just have to touch them up anyways for doing stuff like this, so it's not a big deal. Probably the weirdest course ever. I mean, what is going on down here, man? I don't I might need to adjust the course or something, because this looks a little broken. Okay, I got rid of the little like swirly do down there. So let's go ahead and see how the AI handles this guy, huh? This is exciting, man. Getting the fields exactly how we want them to look. Oh boy, he's going. He is going. It's looking pretty good. A lot better than the last start, honestly. So yeah, it is just gonna connect all of these together. We're killing some of these little back roads, but I mean, I never use that one. I use that one a little too much, like the AI. I needed to get rid of that anyways, so I'm liking what we're doing here. I'm gonna do some of this, and I'm gonna work on bringing those sheepies some food. We do have a decent amount of bales in our storage down here. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get them down to the sheep themselves. So we got a solid 29 hay bales in there. Should be more than enough for right there. One on top, of course. One on top. You can't forget the bale on top of the storage shed. That's my favorite bale of all, after all. The Breaking Bad pizza bale. I will continue making those jokes forever, so I hope you like them. All right, we got a whole lot of bales here. Look at all them bales. Just gonna transport them down to the good old sheepies down here. Not taking any of these turns too quickly, considering we have, what, 174,000 liters of hay in the back. So it is time. I haven't done any front loading in a while, but we'll get her done. We'll get her done. Oh, I just realized I did not take off these belts. We're gonna want to do that. I think I'm probably going to end up getting a bale loader. I was tempted to get one just literally for moving these. I think it's something I'm going to end up buying this year regardless, so... Oh, I can't lift it. It's too heavy. This dude's really trying to just sneak on by through here, huh? That'll fill him up. Okay, they already evaporated one of them, and now the other two are kind of just floating there. Kind of just nudge those until they, you know, look normal again. Can't have no floating bales. Oh yeah, look at that. He's doing a lot better job here. This is always kind of fun to watch. Does look like maybe I have him being a little too careful, but it makes the edges a lot more clean when I have him like raise his tools kind of early. But everything's looking pretty good. I mean, there's gonna be a few spots here and there that I'll clean up, but the AI are very good about getting the corners very clean, which is more what I'm concerned with. Ooh, this is gonna be a nice big field now. This whole area, all for crops. I'd love it if I could get that little area right there. I like the little grain silo in some of the houses, but too bad you cannot do that. Tried to divide all these bales out pretty equally to the different sheep pens here. Definitely something I think I'm gonna want to get a bale loader for. Doing this amount of bales with a pallet fork definitely gets a little bit old, so I probably won't be doing that again. While we're here, I suppose I could just go ahead and grab the wool. Obviously those guys haven't produced any because I just put them down. Probably the messiest pallet work you've ever seen in your life right here. Yeah, not totally proud of this one, but we'll get it up to the spinnery and then check in to see how our field over there is doing. Ooh, things are looking very, very nice here. The completed product just looks so clean. I mean, I like some of the lines, some of the back rows that are going through, you know, the different fields and whatnot, but there's just something about creating a nice big new field that just is awesome. I am loving this. I think this will probably be the last of our custom fields today. I have to admit this area in particular is looking very juicy. Maybe even something like combining all of this into one real big mega field would be pretty cool. Maybe another time. I think I've spent enough money today. Although I guess I do have one more. I am going to combine these two. So yeah, exciting stuff, man. Exciting stuff. I think the yield increases from some of these fields, just making them a lot bigger, is going to make me want to farm them a bit more. I found myself not wanting to cut the grass on some of these smaller fields just because it was like, man, it is so small, it is barely worth it. Now I got no excuse, man. I got some big old fields over here now. It's nice, you can even see the acreage. This one is 12 acres, this is 9 acres. This one up here is going to be 16 acres. Ooh, we're very nearly done with this custom field. I think I'll just go ahead and clean up some of the edges that were missed and then get him started on the next one. I'm totally fine just clearing up some of these little patches that get missed here and there. That's no big deal. Just like that the AI can kind of handle the edges, you know. Do want to make sure I actually got everything here. Sometimes things are a little hidden, like that little patch right there. Everything's looking pretty good though. You're not gonna have it perfectly lined up with the lines that you create, but I mean, visually that's looking pretty good. It's a very oddly shaped field, but I mean, it's really not too bad. It's not as weird as I thought it was gonna be. There's definitely some weirder shaped ones on the map, like this one is really weird. Okay, mine is definitely weirder, but whatever. It's fun, man, it's fun. I know a lot of people in the comments at least have been wanting me to do some stuff like this, so it was a long time coming, you know what I mean? I don't see this. It does look like the snow is just starting. That should make this very fun. So let's get this guy on up to this field up here and get this one created as well. Now, I had a feeling this guy was a little stuck. We're gonna need to figure out how to transport these more efficiently. I'm gonna need to do some fun auto drive stuff with those new fields. That's the one downside of doing something like this. But I mean, the benefits are really nice. Not only do you get those nice big fields, everything's a little bit easier to automate because you don't have to worry about like, you know, 6 different fields. You just can worry about one big field. Okay, it would appear we are full on wool there. So yeah, that makes that interesting. I think I will just get these taken off and, you know, kind of just put them here. They'll eventually go into the storage. Our boy here got a little stuck trying to forcibly enter the fire department. Something about plowing in the middle of a blizzard like this is very interesting, but hey man, it's February, we got planting to do next month. That's what we got to do today, okay? So the plan for this year, beyond, you know, spending all of my money and then some, is to get that rotation of oat and grass a bit more, you know, fleshed out. We have the infrastructure to handle a lot more than we're doing right now. Some of that is going to involve just selling things in seasons when, you know, it's not as optimal price, but with the amount that we're able to make, that more than makes up for it. I think we have a pretty good little setup here for handling oats, handling grass, making a ton of silage, getting all that straw that we can kind of like mix in with our grass in that silo over there to make even more of that silage than we would otherwise is huge. Absolutely massive for our profit potential. Oh man, look at this. We might be missing just like a Scotia field there, but that's okay. We're going to have a ton of land to use here, and it is just looking beautiful. One thing that's so funny about the flour production is we just chew through all of these so quickly. We're obviously not growing any more wheat or barley, and that's something that might just continue. I think grass is just way too valuable in the whole production scheme we have. Oat and sorghum are probably going to be our main ones. Oat more than sorghum, honestly, just because that straw is so valuable. We still have a little bit going on here with our greenhouse, and obviously all that wonderful silage. So yeah, it's really just getting those fields planted today. As I said, I'm going to plow all of my fields just to make sure that the ground is looking good, ground is ripped up, ready for all the crops that we're rotating on. We're kind of hard on our fields, honestly, going between grass and crops every single year, oat that is, and that is what we're doing here. I mean, obviously we're creating some new fields, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and get to this field created, get on over to our other fields here, get them all looking good as well, and then probably just get right on to planting season. Back here in the blizzard, you can see we have yet another mega field all put together. Got a little strip right here that was missed for whatever reason, which is kind of funny that it's like exactly the path. I'll go ahead and take care of that myself. Oh, I understand. I think I turned off the create new fields. Yeah, that's what happened. So the we actually did go over this already, but it didn't get plowed because of that. And we got us another mega field. You got to love it. Now, I don't know if this one needs to be plowed over here. Probably does not. So I'll go ahead and get this guy ripped up too. Why not? One thing I totally forgot about with some of these new fields is they actually need to be limed as well on the, you know, new field sections. As you can see right there, just got a little skosh around the edge. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get liming at the same time. And I think because we have to lime some of it, it makes sense to just lime the whole thing, get everything synced up. So I learned from last time, I want the biggest one available here. I want a big boy, so I don't have to keep filling it up every 5 seconds. Yeah, we'll get this leased out here. Another 4,500 for that. It's nothing too bad though. Nothing too bad. This guy's a lot bigger than last time. I was not messing around with that little one where I didn't even get the extension on it. I am going all out this time. Oh man, it's a fancy cover too. Look at that. So I'll probably just take it over here and get it limed in the filling station. I like these a lot more. I've had people point out that you can save a little bit of money by just buying things in bulk from the vehicle store, but with a fill-up station like this nearby, it's just so convenient to be able to bring your fertilizer spreader on up and get it filled. Yeah, so I will get this filled up, probably start on the, you know, quote-unquote new fields with the limer here, get those all limed. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and lime everything today as well. So it's gonna be plowing and liming every single field in anticipation of planting season tomorrow. So a lot to do. I think I'll just go ahead and get a lot of that taken care of. There's just going to be a lot of running to and from this place, liming, and our lovely tank tractor over there plowing every field. I can just narrowly see him in the background over there. I'll get this taken care of. Catch you guys a little later in the blizzard. Just now wrapping up, which should be the end of our plowing here. And I actually decided to do a little bit of a change up here, and look at this. This looks absolutely ridiculous. You can see it's 34 acres, which, oh boy, that is a lot of acreage. Funny looking field, but it just made sense to go ahead and combine that one while we're doing this. I mean, maybe someday I'll add 33 into the mix too. But yeah, that's what we're working with here, man. I decided to just plow it all together while we were doing it. I mean, why not, man? If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. Yeah, you can see we got several fields put together here, doing a little bit of liming still on these. I'm gonna need to run it on this, so that's probably gonna take a bit. Good day for plowing, man. Gonna be an exciting one with all these funky new fields I got. Doing a little bit of fixing up with the plow before I turn it in, but you can see we got that liming going on these fields. We already got this one taken care of. Such weird looking fields. I mean, I drew them, I guess, so I'm not sure what I was expecting. It will be fun to be farming on these once we get into planting season. Tomorrow, actually. We are getting there, man. We are getting there. So yeah, I do believe we are done with the plow for today, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get that returned. Might be a couple edges that need cleaning up, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything else is nice and plowed. Got that all taken care of, and yeah, just a bit more liming to do. You can see we already got our home fields covered as well. Nothing happened here. You don't need to worry about it. Don't ask why it's a different color. Don't worry about it. But just gonna go ahead and finish up this liming. Got a bit more to do here, just this field and then our big gigantic field up there. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get that taken care of and get back to you guys once it is planting season and not in the middle of a blizzard. Close to 12:30 in the afternoon here on a beautiful March day. Year 8, the official start according to our in-game calendar. And more importantly than everything, it is planting season. In February, we did make quite a few big changes, including plowing and liming every single one of our fields. On top of that, we did create the super fields. We made 3 big fields, plowed some together. Our smallest one here, just over 9 acres. Then over here, we got a 12-acre field. And then the big boy, which is just a ridiculous field right here. This one is 34.5 acres. On top of that, still got our little guys here with 6 acres and 12 acres. It's so funny to be calling these little fields now, especially this one, because this used to be one of the biggest fields on the map, but not anymore. So with it being March, it is the month to plant quite a lot of things. Our main crop right now is oat, and we'll be planting a decent amount of that today. On top of that, maybe a little bit of grass on our main field right here. I'm still kind of undecided on that. And the one thing I did that is going to be quite the change now is I was thinking about planting some cotton. While I don't have a harvester for it right this second, that's been something I've been wanting to get into more and more. We obviously have the infrastructure for making that cotton into clothes. I did notice there's a few fields out this way that are all planted in cotton. Seems like a popular year for that, so potentially gonna flip these, and they are some of the biggest ones on Elm Creek as well, so I think it's a pretty solid plan. Kind of move our way into it there. One of the things I've actually been wanting to do with our recent harvest has been getting just more of a harvesting setup. I like our current one, but it does go a little bit slow, and it can take a bit to get a lot of those fields covered. So if you think about it, diversifying our crop out to cotton, which actually requires a different harvester, is a good way to speed that up. It's a way of getting more harvesters working at the same time without them necessarily, you know, harvesting the same crop or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this taken over. There's a few things I know I'm going to be planting today. Now the big one first up is definitely oat. So I'm going to get this all filled up, and I believe we are going to plant that massive, huge limed field right there. The whole thing's going to oat. That's our big product, and yeah, it is time. Got our seeds all put into the planter here, just filling up with the liquid nitrogen. Looking pretty good, both at about 76%. I'm just gonna giddy on up here, get this all planted. Pretty excited to be planting these big fields. It's definitely gonna be a little bit different than what I'm used to. I mean, look at this. This is just crazy. It should be a good time though. I'm looking forward to it. We're definitely gonna have some wonky looking courses because of how weird these fields are, but that's actually looking not too bad. So starting the big plant, there might be a little bit of oddities like that tiny amount of area left around the edge of the field. I do have an AI on it right now while I actually deliver a bit of product to sell. I forgot it is the month for honey here. We do have a really good price of the cereal factory, well above the maximum, so we'll probably go take care of that. Yeah, gonna be a good month, gonna be a very busy month of planting. These are some very big fields, as you can see. So we just have a bit of honey, obviously not one of our big crops or anything like that, or one of our big producers, but it is something we have at least a bit of here. So seems like we got 2,000 liters right there, or 4,000. Each one has 2,000 on it. We do have some eggs over here. Obviously don't have any more chickens clucking around. Rehomed them to very good homes where they will still be egg chickens. So I'm just picking this up. It's actually light enough for me to just pick up because there's not that many eggs on here, so I'm just gonna carry this over here. Been pretty cool doing some of these big fields now. I haven't really plowed together fields too much thus far. Got our bit of honey here, just about, you know, over 5,000 liters of it, so nothing crazy. We are just gonna get this taken on over to the cereal factory. Been looking at the map to do some more of what we have already done with these fields over here. Another potential great one would be this right here, this little like stretch of land, and potentially even extending it on over into these fields leading up to the water tower there. Also, we're gonna cut across this field because I forgot to take the turn because I was yapping. Call that the Taterman special. Do like this little town here with the water tower. I do like this little town. I wish it wasn't so narrow, but I think it's funny there's a little baseball diamond, and if you go in here, as I run over a sign, maybe a few people. I don't know if it's all the time, but there's a little announcer. Now, I haven't looked into this at all. I promise I haven't like checked a map or anything for this, but I really feel like there has to be a toy up here or a collectible. Okay, yeah, I just knew it had to be, like, as soon as I saw the entrance. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and collect that. Boo!
Welcome to Redford Park, the home, of course, of our Elm.
See, there's that announcer I was talking about. Ooh, this guy's going in. Man, he is dressed for the occasion for that game, huh? Oh, never mind. Never mind, he's like, wait, I hate baseball. Never mind, back to the office. Get the feeling there's probably at least another collectible or two around here, but hey, I found what I was looking for, man. So what is that, like, you know, $6,000 or so? Nothing big at all, to the point where it might not even have a lot of purpose to be keeping those bees there. If you couldn't tell, we're kind of scaling things up, if it wasn't obvious by me plowing together like a whole bunch of different fields. We're moving into a little bit of a different era of the challenge. Some of that stuff that I started with, you know, chicken coop, even the greenhouse and the honey there, all of the little stuff on our tiny little homestead. I think I'm kind of moving on from some of that stuff, at least for the time being. I could see myself maybe getting into some of that stuff, especially chickens. I could see myself doing a bigger scale chicken operation, but as I've said in the past, that's nothing I'm going to do without getting a bigger coop, something that has better food capacity. Honey is something that actually doesn't have that great of margins on, at least on hard economic difficulty. You can kind of print money on some of the lower ones, but at least on the one that I'm doing, it really doesn't pay that well. You can get the thing where you get like a kind of like a fertilization bonus. It gives a tiny little bonus to certain crops if it's placed nearby, so that's kind of handy. But at the same time, it's kind of weird because it doesn't have like an internal capacity for that honey, or it does, but it doesn't make that apparent anywhere. So you just kind of have to like keep an eye on it and keep taking the pallets off, which is kind of annoying because pretty much every other producer, you can see what its storage is just from the production screen page. So maybe it's something that I will use in the future sparingly, but for the time being, I don't see any reason to scale that up. And we've definitely made our money back at this point, so I don't really feel bad selling it whenever. Now, the stuff I obviously am excited for is all of this stuff right here, man. Our little sheep alley. They are going to town on all them bales we put in there. They should be covered for a long time with bales. We'll just need to swing by, pick up those pallets every once in a while, but they actually have a really big storage for those pallets, so it's nothing I have to come by and pick up very often. fun. Which, speaking of which, maybe I'll just buzz on by over to our tailoring shop. So we got our tailor shop right here. Can spin around, take a look at the other side, which is where the clothes are, and look at that very first palette. Oh, look at this. Sense for fashion. I kind of wish you could see it. I wish you could see all the clothes, but close to 3,000 liters, so just under 3,000 liters of clothes, which is a very strange way to measure out clothes, but that's just kind of how it is in farming sim here. And you can see right here, got a lot of fabric in there. It's working away at the clothes. Back at the spinnery, we are just distributing all the fabric we make. Yeah, I was kind of worried about this, so it is backed up yet again. You can see we have 130,000 liters that's slowly, very slowly being chunked into bread. So it's backing things up. The only thing that's left is oat, but I think once again, I'm just gonna put this to sell. Just get it all sold, 30,000 liters worth, just so we can continue that. We are making fantastic progress on the big plant here. We get far enough in on this series, if we get some more fields like this, which kind of is my plan, I do want to make some more jumbo fields like that. Once we reach that point, it might be worth considering upgrading our planting setup. While I absolutely love this planter, it is great, the capacity for seed and fertilizer definitely is the biggest downside. And there are a few air cart setups, which is pretty cool. It's a cool way they do it in real life to make these like massive planting rigs that just have like huge capacities. I did want to check. Okay, it looks like the fertilizer's good, except for whatever's going on up there. On top of that, we might need to hit the sections that are like freshly plowed. We might need to hit them with the fertilizer spreader next month, but overall it should be mostly fine. It's just going to be like a strip or two. It's pretty funny because when I bought this guy and when I bought the harvester, those were two things that I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to need to upgrade these, right? These are the end game. I'm never gonna need more. But then, you know, I started getting on these big fields and it's like, wow, all of a sudden those aren't looking so big. I think I'm just gonna do some more of these down and backs, get this guy all planted, and see you guys when it is looking a little better. But I am loving how this field is looking. Oh man, look at them. Look at those seeds in the ground, man. Whew. Just finished up this here field. We got one or two little patches here I can just fix up real quick. So I will get this guy folded on back up. Get on down to these boys down here. Also get them covered in oat. Getting the second of our oat fields planted here, decided to make this guy, which is right next to our sheepies, into yet another oat field. I might even do the same over there, although maybe I'll do a sorghum on that one. I'm kind of undecided. Oat is definitely our best product because it drops that straw. That straw into silage is really what makes this a valuable product for us. Now, speaking of which, just taking a look at our production here, you can see more and more of this getting turned into silage. We do have a solid 400,000 liters in there already. Point being, I'm just going to go ahead and sell this now. Make the room while the price is still pretty good, at least. Did also sell that flour from earlier while I was planting there, so you can see we got a solid $16,000 for it. Now, the other thing that I got to think about is what I want to name these fields. So obviously, when, you know, you draw some of these custom maps in Courseplay, they just name it CP1, CP1, 2, CP3 for Courseplay, you know, 1, 2, and 3. But you can always go in and rename them to whatever you want. But a little more fun is if you have a suggestion for some of these fields, these custom fields, what to name them, go ahead and put it down in the comments. I might take a look at some of those, see if there's any that tickle my fancy. Otherwise, maybe I'll just do something a little more generic. We'll see. And hey, brother, while you're down there, go ahead and click that there subscribe button. I know you want to. I made these custom fields just for you, man. We are here in April of year 8. Planted up our fields yesterday, and you can see we have some exciting stuff going on here, but this is actually cotton. I decided to go for it. So on our two fields right here, I decided to go cotton on both of them. Might be a little overkill, but decided to do it up a little bit. I was getting a little sick of planting oat, which I did on all of our other fields here, including our big giant field, but I will be grabbing cotton from both of these guys. So that's a pretty exciting first time thing. I feel like I've talked up cotton so many times, farming it and everything, just making the plunge, man. Regardless, we actually have a couple things to do here today in April. Obviously no planting, obviously no harvesting, but it is the top month for clothes, and we do make clothes now. Still going up, and it is well above what the maximum price is there. On top of that, made the unfortunate discovery that up here is absolutely covered in weeds, so we got to take care of that today with a weeder as well. We also have a bit of fertilizing to do today, as well as obviously selling our clothes. So bit of a decently busy April in front of us. All right, it seems to have peaked at $10,395, which is significantly above where it says that its peak is supposed to be. Now, granted, we really don't have that many. I think we just have the one pallet. I'm actually going to put this on selling because I don't think I can actually get those clothes out on pallets until it fills up some more. So I'm just gonna buzz on over. We'll just kind of take our Meadowland trail here. So we just literally have one pallet of clothes here that I was looking at last month or maybe the month prior. But hey, that's better than nothing, man. Should be a decent amount of money. Ooh, the money skyrocketing. $31,000 for one pallet. Ooh, that's juicy. That is very juicy. Okay, so at the top of the hour, we will sell the rest of those clothes, which I mean, we can kind of just get there real quick. Oh, you can see a little jump there. It looks like we got another like 14,000 or so. Yeah, so altogether, that last one was maybe 15,000. Altogether about $47,000. Plan here is just to get the rest of this all weeded up. Very nearly done with this big field. After that, moving down to this guy, just getting a little bit of that weeding done, and then we're done with April. April of year 8. There isn't going to be too much to do after that until harvesting season. So yeah, I think I'm just going to take some time, get this all weeded up so we can giddy on up to harvesting season. I appreciate y'all watching the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. It helps a lot. If you aren't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. A lot more of these videos on the way. Appreciate y'all watching. I'll see you next time for harvesting season, baby.